Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to 8 Ball Sports, and this will be the post-game analysis for the Washington-Auburn game, which is a very, very close game, hard-fought game by both teams, and I'll be giving you my analysis on that. Now, I'm an Ohio State fan. I say this every video. If you're a subscriber, you've heard it before, but I love the sport of college football. I really love all sports. And when I'm talking about my teams, obviously, I'll be biased. So if you haven't seen my Ohio State post-game reaction from their game earlier today, that one will be biased towards Ohio State. But if it's two teams that I really don't care about, then I will give it an unbiased opinion. Auburn, Washington, don't really like, don't dislike either of them. And it's just great football. It was a really close football game, 5-point difference, 21-16, the final. And I'm quickly pulling up the stats. I just got finished recording the Appalachian State-Penn State post-game analysis video where Appalachian State almost pulled off the upset. So if you haven't seen that one, go check that one out after you finish this video. So I haven't even had time really to get ready to record this video. So I'm trying to pull up the thing. 21-16 the final. I watched the beginning. I watched the first half of it. Obviously with so many games on, and I want to do analysis for so many of the different games, such as I want to do the West Virginia-Tennessee game. I wanted to do the Penn State-Appalachian State game, even though I didn't really know I wanted to do that one. And obviously I wanted to do this one. So I was kind of flipping back and forth between those. So I watched the first half of this one. This one was probably the biggest game of the Week 1 college football season. Two top 10 ranked teams going at it. A lot of people saying if Washington lost this game, probably no team from the Pac-12 would end up making it to the college football playoff, which honestly I think I have to agree with. I don't see any team in the Pac-12 being a powerhouse this year. USC losing Sam Darnold. Washington already having that Week 1 loss. Highly doubt they go in 11-0 to finish out the year. If they do and win the Pac-12, then they may have a chance. We'll have to wait and see when that time comes. But I did watch the first half, and I watched the beginning of the third quarter, and then I did not watch the end. Because I was watching the Penn State-Appalachian State game, so that's the part I missed. But I did flip over when it was 21-16, so I saw the final, and I saw Auburn run out the clock, and I flipped back over to the Penn State game. So, total yards-wise, pretty even game. Auburn 420, Washington 398, so both around the 400 mark. But points-wise, the yards don't show it. Almost over 800 yards of offense combined, but not even 40 points combined between the two teams, which is pretty crazy in today's football, where I feel like offense is a lot more powerful than defense nowadays. I feel like we see a lot more high-scoring games than we do low-scoring games, such as this one. But both teams, allowed a lot of yards, but they really stood up when they needed to, and that was in the red zone. Only 2 touchdowns were scored in this game, if I'm correct about that. I think I'm right. I don't think Washington scored a touchdown. No, wait. Yes, they did. Right? Yes. I left when it was 16-15 to watch the Penn State game. And I'm pretty sure it's 15-9. And then, don't quote me on this again. Did not watch the entire game, but I'm telling you from the parts I watched, what I saw and what I thought was good and bad for each team. Auburn, their defense is still insane. One of the best defenses in the country last year. Looks like it's not going to take a break this season. They stopped Jake Browning, a pretty solid QB who has some really good receivers. Held him to only 16 points in the game. Very, very good job from them. They really limited his deep ball and made him uncomfortable in the pocket. Got a lot of pressure. Got some sacks, everything like that. Their offense, though, that is something that does concern me. Washington has a pretty solid defense, probably a top 25 defense in college football. But if Auburn wants to compete with the Alabamas and the Georgias, who both have really, really, really good defenses, I feel like if I'm ranking the SEC teams right now, it's Bama, Georgia, then Auburn. All three have really elite defenses. But Alabama's offense is up here, Georgia's is here, and Auburn's is down here. Not necessarily a whole lot lower, but defensive-wise, those three teams are all kind of similar. They're all really, really good. offensively, Auburn's going to have to show me something that they didn't show me last year in any of their games, and they did not show me today. Now, again, faced a really good Washington defense. Not going to take anything away from that defense, so maybe that was the case. We'll see whoever they play next week if they can show me a lot of offense. If they can show me some powerhouse, some firing the ball down the field from Jared Stidham, because I believe he can lead Auburn to a national championship. Although I don't think he can be the centerpiece. I think they're going to have either a receiver or a running back step up, or their defense just completely step up and kind of be like a A.J. McCarron Alabama situation, where Alabama's defense really kind of carries them and McCarron's just kind of there. But if you know what I'm trying to say there. For Washington, offense did not impress me at all, but didn't really expect them to. Auburn's defense is that good. Jake Browning, remember when he was like a Heisman candidate and like going to be like the top quarterback in the draft? I don't see it with Jake Browning. I mean, I think he could be maybe a solid backup in the NFL, and he's a solid college quarterback. But for me, he's no Heisman hopeful. He's no first-round quarterback talent. We'll see. Obviously, the NFL values the quarterback real highly. I really did not like a ton of the quarterbacks from last year's draft class. I kind of want to see how to phrase that, because I did like some of them, but I really thought none of them should have been taken as high as they were. But, it's quarterback position. It's a quarterback league, and a lot of the NFL teams are just trying to find that guy, and they'll be willing to make some wrong picks. So we'll see what Browning does. It's not about Browning, though. It's about the entire Washington team. Their defense looked really good. Their front four was magnificent. They were stopping the run. They were getting pressure on Stidham, it seemed like almost every play. Their secondary was okay, nothing fantastic. And they didn't force a turnover, which was pretty big to me. Penalty-wise, was pretty big. Both teams committing double-digit penalties. Auburn with 12 and Washington with 10. So, but in the first week of college football, something you expect, false starts, offsides, delay of game penalties, all things that happen because the team isn't really gelled together quite yet in a real game situation. Those will sort themselves out. But the penalties like unsportsmanlike conduct, pass interference, stuff that can be avoided, that both teams need to clean up. The difference in this game was the rushing. Auburn ran for 273 yards. Now, I said the front four contained the rushing, which is fairly true. It was the linebackers for Washington that really did not impress me at all. They weren't good. It seemed like it was either the front four stuffing the run at the front of the attack, or it was a secondary guy chasing down the running back after a 20-yard gain. It didn't seem like there were a whole lot of 6-7-yard carries where a linebacker was making a tackle. So if you're Washington, I think you have to look at the linebacker position here from week 1 and say that position needs to play better, especially in the run department. Passing-wise, pretty even. Washington did edge them out there. Time of possession really even, almost, I think it was it says here, 31, 20, 28, 40. So only like a minute 40 difference, I think. Not that. Minute 20. Quick math. A minute 20 difference. So again, I can't look at player stats for some reason. It won't show me individual player stats, so just team stats. But if you're Auburn, you did what you had to do. It wasn't the prettiest win for you, but you got the win. Big win week 1, beating a top 10 team, keeping your playoff hopes alive. You're gonna have to beat Alabama now, and I don't know if you play Georgia. If you do, you're going to have to beat them. But you can lose a game. I truly believe. We saw 2 SEC teams make it last year. You can lose a game if you're Auburn here. You could maybe lose to Bama and still make it, although I think they probably won't because they won't make it to the SEC championship, which, if they lose to Bama, assuming that is the case because they're both on the same side. So we'll see how that pans out. For Washington, you're not out of the playoffs yet, so don't hang your head down too low. But I still think they're the best team in the Pac-12. Their defense can carry them against the rest of the Pac-12 teams. I think they'll still win the Pac-12. They have to be perfect here from here on out, though, because 2-loss Pac-12 team is not going to get in at all. There's no chance. We've seen maybe, hey, there's this 2-loss team that's playing real hot here to end the year. They should get in. We've seen some of that. You can't do that for Washington. They don't have the strength of schedule because they aren't in the strongest conference. I do give them props for playing Auburn here on opening day, but they have to win. They have to win the next 11 games, win the Pac-12, and then we can maybe see if they can find a spot in the playoffs. If you enjoy these types of videos, post-game analysis of all of the 2018 college football, week in, week out, hopefully. This is obviously week 1. I hope to continue to do this every week. I did so pretty much last year. Missed a couple weeks, but hopefully going to be able to do it every week, and we'll see if I can. So if you enjoy that stuff, then subscribe to the channel. We're going for 100. We're going for 100 subs here. We're at 57, so we're already halfway there. Let's see if we can get that. If you like the video, leave a like. It really would mean a lot. Lets me know you are enjoying these post-game analysis. And tell me your thoughts. Can Washington make the playoffs if they win out the rest of the season and win the Pac-12? Leave it in the comment section down below. If you're a Washington fan, if you're an Auburn fan, you can comment whatever. You can also comment if Washington's going to make the playoffs. If you're an Auburn fan, you can comment, what you thought your team did good, what you thought they did bad, and I'll be sure to read those and respond to those. So that'll be it for now. See you guys later.